Hire candidates all in one place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Isn't it great to know that when you choose Garber, you become a partner in making better happen in our community? And it never costs you a penny more because you have the Garber low price guarantee. Larry Brethauer, president of the Friends of Hoyt Park, I understand you have ball tournaments almost every weekend in the summer with players not only from around Michigan, but even around the Midwest and sometimes from Canada.
We have these travel teams that come in, youth baseball, boys fast pitch, girls fast pitch softball. They stay for a lot of times Friday night, Saturday, Sunday. They stay in hotels. They eat in the area. It's millions of dollars of revenue to Saginaw, on top of the fact that all these inner city kids have a place to go for recreation.
And for those who may not have known, these tournaments at Hoyt Park raise money that gets used to support leagues so that inner city kids can experience the fun of playing ball, even get a team uniform that they get to keep, enjoy a full season, and at a very low cost. Garber is proud to partner in making better happen at Hoyt Park.
Everybody knows you'll do better at Garber.
Imagine it's the last ride, but your symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, are taking you for a ride. What should you do? Keep managing your constipation with belly pain the same old way? Or try getting ahead of your symptoms by talking to your doctor about treating it with Linzess, linaclotide. Linzess is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually.
Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine, what could relief from IBS-C mean for you? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies and 9:05. Good morning. I'm Mike Percha. 1,200 consumers energy customers in Saginaw remain without power after a tree fell onto power lines, knocking out electricity to more than 8,300 customers. The tree fell over Hess Avenue between South Washington and Russell. Currently, the outage extends from just south of M46 to nearly the Cass River and between the Saginaw River and Sheridan Road. Consumers' crews continue to work on the outage and estimates a full restoration by 10 o'clock this morning. The Bay City Department of Public Safety is looking into vandalism near Carroll Park. The department says multiple reports were made about graffiti discovered at the park, as well as the rail trail nearby, some of which included vulgar language targeting police and the LGBTQ community. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Bay City Department of Public Safety at 989-892-8571, or you can leave an anonymous tip with Crime Stoppers at 1-800-422-JAIL. 2 men were sentenced up to 30 years in prison on Monday after pleading no contest to arranging sexual encounters with minors. In July 2022, the Genesee Human Oppression Strike Team, or GHOST, and cooperating law enforcement agencies set up a sting operation posing as 15-year-olds and arrested 46-year-old Daniel Horetsky of Port Austin, who is a retired Arizona police officer, and 57-year-old Kevin Manor of Seaboing. Prosecutors say Horetsky's phone even showed a search of Michigan's legal age of sexual consent, which is 16. The men were sentenced in Huron County Circuit Court. WSGW News Time, 9:07.
Spring is here and we are ready to help you get your yard looking alive. Hi, I'm Matt Bouvet. At Abley Greenhouse and Garden Center, our plants look great. They're hardy and colorful because we grow them here with a little touch of TLC. We appreciate each and every one of you, and we want you to know that when you plant with us, you get the best plants, along with time-tested and proven advice at very competitive prices. Looking at a garden this year? Maybe a little bigger than in past years? Don't forget, our garden plants are top quality. So along with our staff of planting pros, your garden will have all the makings of many healthy meals this summer. Our reputation for top quality plants at a price you can afford continues even now. See us online. Like us on Facebook and Twitter too. It's that easy. If you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. Get the TLC you deserve. Plan to plant with us this spring at Abley Greenhouse and Garden Center on Wadsworth, near the freeway, Saginaw. See us today.
WSGW News Time, 9:08. The weather forecast is next. A motorcyclist has serious injuries after a crash last night with a truck in Kentwood in West Michigan. This motorcyclist was taken to an area hospital. The truck driver was not hurt. Police are investigating what led up to the crash. The motorcyclist's condition is unknown at this time. The Department of Health and Human Services reports there are 10,000 children currently in foster care in the state of Michigan. Finding good homes is a growing need. Stacy Goodson is with DA Blodgett at St. John's and says at times it becomes hard to place children when there is an immediate need.
The need in Michigan specifically, as well as in Kent County, has grown over the last 2 to 3 years, probably since COVID. We don't have enough homes for kids to go to. We have literally had nights within our agency, within our county, within the state, where kids have had to stay the night in an office.
For a child who is already struggling, Goodson says that's the last place they should be sleeping. This month, her agency and others are hoping to debunk some of the myths surrounding foster care that can prevent people from considering it. People are encouraged to learn more by going to the Department of Health and Human Services website to learn about the process. In an effort to introduce a pygmy hippo to an antelope at John Ball Zoo in Grand Rapids, the hippo attacked and killed the antelope. The zoo says the attack occurred during a controlled introduction to prepare for them to be in a new multi-species habitat, and previous visual introductions had gone well. The zoo says staff took the antelope, named Chopper, into the hippo habitat when the hippo suddenly attacked. Staff separated the two and tried to resuscitate Chopper, but were unsuccessful. The zoo says it is a reminder that even with enormous cautionary measures taken by zoo staff, the behavior of wild animals can be unpredictable. WSGW News Time, 10:08. Now here's WNEM First Alert meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Wednesday has a high of 56 degrees, but if you're closer to Lake Huron, you might actually not even leave the 40s for today. If you're closer to US 127, you should hit that 60-degree mark, but we do have sunny skies with a northeast wind at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Then tonight, that wind starts to shift southeasterly, still at the same speed, and mostly clear for tonight, just a few high clouds and a low of 36. More importantly, frost is still on the table for tonight. For your Thursday, a high of 70, mostly sunny with a south-southeast wind at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday, a high of 73. There is a chance of rain as we head into Friday, too. The better chance is starting to look to be into the afternoon, but definitely much needed after how dry we've been this week. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Currently, we have 42 degrees under cloudy skies here at WSGW.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
Yes, indeed. Westside Decorating Center, 5789 State Street in Saginaw. Newly expanded showroom, expanded product lines, including countertops. You'll find it all at Westside Decorating Center. Later on, after the 10 o'clock news, we will learn about Dioxin cleanup and how well it's going. At 11 o'clock, we're going to chat with folks from the Berkshire Hathaway Realtors. And this hour, we're going to take you down to a place at our south end, the Shiawassee National Wildlife Refuge. And from a group called the Friends of the Shiawassee Refuge, we welcome Donald Konuszewski to the program this morning. Donald, good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for being with us today.
Glad to be here.
Let's talk first about the organization, the Friends of Shiawassee. What's that all about?
Well, what that's for is that Shiawassee is a national wildlife refuge, and it's located, say, just south of Saginaw. And as a group, we're supposed to take and be concentrating on conservation, restoration, and education. In any way that we can be of help to the refuge without actually being part of the refuge. We're our own entity.
You're independent.
Yep.
501c3 or just an independent organization?
We're a nonprofit organization, and we work directly with the people, at Shiawassee.
So what is there about that refuge that makes it so special?
Well, it's certainly near and dear to me. That the refuge was in place since 1953, and originally they made it so that it was supposed to be a place for the migratory birds to stop on the way down and stop on the way up, and rest and do what they're supposed to do there. The refuge itself is over 10,000 acres, and a lot of people in this area, and it's one of the reasons why I'm here. A lot of people in this area don't really realize, what they have that's out there. There's all different kinds of terrain, ecosystems, wetlands, wood. There's just a wide variety of wildlife, and it's just a place that if you haven't been there, you should go there.
Is there a charge to get in?
No, there's no charge whatsoever.
And what about vehicles? I mean, I remember at one point driving, I don't know if it was a perimeter road or something around the refuge itself. Is that still there? Is that still available? Accessible?
Yeah, that's still available. And that drive opens up on June the 1st, and it lasts through the summertime and all the way up actually till October when bow season kicks off. And it is kind of unusual because the people in this area, a lot of folks have driven on the drive-through, and obviously a lot of them have not. But if you want to see the whole refuge, there is also called the Ferguson Bayou Trail. That's something that you hike on, and that goes through the woods, and it's almost like there's two different worlds: the wetland world and the area where there's woodland.
All right, so let's say I want to use a different set of wheels, the kind you pedal.
So glad you asked.
I knew you would be.
Yeah, this weekend on the 20th, we're going to have the first ever bike tour through the refuge, and I think that it's going to be just a great opportunity for folks to get a look at what the refuge encompasses, because 3/4 of the ride is going to be down the trail into the wetland area that the drive-through ordinarily takes you through. As we get to the last observation deck, rather than continue on, we're going to cut that off and redirect it to go to the Ferguson Bayou Trail. So then the Bayou Trail will take you back to the parking lot so you don't have to get out of the one gate and pedal your bike another couple of miles, but you'll go through the wetlands, through the woods, get to experience just about everything that Shiawassee has to offer.
So I assume this trail is bikeable then?
Absolutely.
Preferably with a mountain bike that has knobby tires? Or
Well, no, you don't really need that, because an off-road trail bike would be recommended. But if you had one of the like the real skinny racing type tires, that would be difficult. But most of the trail that we're talking about, okay, the drive-through trail is very hard and compacted ground. Okay, as you switch and get onto the Ferguson Bayou Trail, that section of the Bayou Trail that will have you going down, that is all like a hard-packed gravel. You'll have no problem whatsoever with a normal-sized bike or a trail bike or a mountain bike.
Yeah. And how long should this take?
We've got it listed right now that is supposed to take approximately 2 hours. Technically, it will not take 2 hours. It would probably take you 1:10, something like that, to do that. But we're hoping and expecting some people to stop and take a look around at their surroundings. Part of the idea of doing this bike ride is to have people see what the refuge has to offer. And, you're going to get a chance to see some wildlife. You're going to get a chance to see the huge ecosystem that Shiawassee is. And there's a lot to see there besides just biking.
So first, is there any charge?
No charge whatsoever.
What time does it start? And do you go as a group or do you go whenever you get there?
Well, we're going to try to do it as a group. And, we kind of set that up because in town, they have a bike group in the summertime that they all go at the same time for, I guess you would say, to try to create a little camaraderie. We had folks even from the Chippewa Nature Center, where a lot of people do some biking now. They even put us on their Facebook page. So we're trying to get the bikers to go together so we can have some interaction even in the parking lot before we leave. And then, everybody take off kind of the same time. And I'm sure there's certain people that have, better or faster bike skills that are going to finish faster. But we'll make sure that everybody gets an opportunity to take their time and enjoy their ride.
And what time are you going to start?
It's going to start at 6 o'clock.
A.M.?
No, 6 o'clock p.m.
Much better.
Yep. And earlier that day, they actually have it's called a plain paint event, plein air paint event, where they're going to have artists throughout the Shiawassee to do a painting from wherever they're at. And then we're going to be right after them.
And let's tell everybody how you get to Shiawassee, what road the gate is on.
Oh, that's simple. And that's one of the things that to me is surprising in this area, because a lot of folks that don't know that the refuge is out there, we're talking 2 turns. You get out of town on Washington, which turns into M13. You go down Washington 4 or 5 miles, you hit Curtis Road. There's a brown sign on the side of the road that says Shiawassee National Refuge. You take that road to the very end.
To turn right.
You turn right. You take it to the very end, and Curtis Road kind of ends at Bishop Road, which is Shiawassee, and that's where the refuge is, right there. And there's a gate, and you're all set if you get there.
All right, we're going to take a break, come back. We'll have another segment to chat with Don Konuszewski and the Friends of Shiawassee Wildlife National Refuge. Let me take a moment to talk about 401ks. A 401k can be an important asset for many American retirements. You made contributions to your 401k every single paycheck for years, even decades. Its tax advantages and portability may enable workers to build sizable and important nest eggs, but its flexibility can also be costly if you aren't aware of potential mistakes. Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a guide that will teach you how to avoid an IRS early distribution penalty and full taxation on rollovers. The little-known weapon you can use, your most mistake-proof option, and more. Request your guide today at 989-835-7203 or visit GreatLakesInvestmentAdvisors.com. This commercial shall in no way be construed as a solicitation to sell securities or advisory services of any state other than Michigan or where otherwise permitted. Topics should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Advisory services offered through Great Lakes Investment Advisors, a registered investment advisor in the state of Michigan.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Babbel. Évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
There's an update on the housing market for April. Housing starts, groundbreakings for new construction rose 2.2%, and building permits for new housing construction declined 1.5%. Higher interest rates have made it more expensive for homeowners to sell and buy something else. That has pushed first-time buyers to brand new homes. Target sales growth stalled in the recent quarter, though its profit was down from a year ago. Sales of household essentials and grocery products held up in the period. It's seeing softer sales in the current quarter, but is standing by its forecast for the year. TJX, parent of TJ Maxx, reported a mixed quarter. It also owns Home Goods, which saw weaker sales after its products were in demand early in the pandemic. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Inflation is nothing more than legalized theft. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and to preserve your wealth, I highly recommend keeping physical gold in your retirement account. To learn more, text the word SHELTER to 989898 to get a free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold, which is the only gold IRA company I trust. So text SHELTER to 989898 to request your free info kit right now.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
The WSGW Morning Team.
The resignation from adulthood. I have decided I would like to accept the responsibilities of an 8-year-old again. I want to go to McDonald's and think that it's a 4-star restaurant. I want to sail sticks across a fresh mud puddle. I want to think M&Ms are better than money because you can eat them. I want to return to a time when life was simple and all you knew were colors, nursery rhymes. That didn't bother you because you didn't know what you didn't know and you didn't care. I want to think the world is fair, that everyone is honest and good. I want to be oblivious to the complexities of life and be overly excited by the little things again. So, I am officially resigning from adulthood. And if you want to discuss this further, you'll have to catch me first because tag, you're it.
Your Morning Team, 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
All right, we're back with you, and we're talking to Don Konuszewski from the Friends of the Wildlife National Refuge in the Shiawassee Wildlife National Refuge. So, Don, when I think of Shiawassee, first thing I think of are birds. I think of a stopover place for migratory birds, and I really don't think about birds making it their home. But more and more, you're seeing waterfowl stay there, aren't you?
Yes, we are. And I mean, that's a really good point that I think that we're trying to make other people aware of. Because I think there's some folks out there that look at it as like, you know, a goose hunting area, and they don't think of it as anything else other than migratory. If you go there sometimes in the wintertime when it seems like there's absolutely nothing going on, look down at the snow. There's tracks everywhere. That place is alive with wildlife every month, every day of the year. And it's just a fantastic place, you know, for the wildlife to live and thrive.
Okay. So if you tell me I should go someplace to see pelicans, I would say, all right, I'll go down to Key West or someplace down there, you know. I don't have to go that far, do I?
No, as a matter of fact, you can get in my GMC Terrain with me and we'll take a ride over there right now.
You're telling me there's pelicans.
There's pelicans there. They're awesome to see it. It's like, it's for me, it's one of the specialty birds lately, because I don't know how many years they've been showing up, but certainly for the last 4 or 5, they've been there every year, and they're already there again this year.
And they'll stay for months?
They'll stay for months. And a couple of years ago, I was taking pictures in early December, and the water was still open, and there were still pelicans there.
So if you go down to Shiawassee and you go into the refuge, where do you see the birds? I mean, are different birds in different places? Where do you see them all?
Yeah. Well, when you go in, it depends, of course, if you're hiking or if you're driving. Okay. They have the ability out to the refuge to actually move water around. So sometimes they can flood a field that ordinarily wasn't flooded. And to the people that have been in the drive-through, the second or third row that you get in there, that used to be a dirt field, a lot of times there's just all kinds of waterfall there. Now, at one point this spring, they had over 5,000 sandhill cranes there. Usually in the summertime, my wife and I kind of keep check of sandhills because that's her favorite bird. And there's not really a lot of them. But I was out there just a couple of days ago, and there's also a lot of sandhill cranes that are still there. And if there's a big number, chances are there's some baby sandhill cranes walking around in there too, which is an awesome sight.
So when you drive, you go in, the drive itself, is it a circular drive? I mean, you just simply circumnavigate the refuge? How does it work?
Well, it's certainly not in a circle, but it brings you back in a circle. When you go out there, you just follow the drive, and really it's not like you need to know where to go. It's obvious where to go. And it brings you out at the gate farther down on Curtis Road. And when you go through it, it's approximately 7 miles for the drive, if you're doing the drive completely by car.
Wow, it's that big, huh?
Oh, yeah. Say with 10,000 acres just spread out, that's a lot of property back there. And it is kind of cool where you see all the different kinds of, I guess the cattails, the trees, the weeds, the flowering bushes. There's just everything out there.
So how many different species have you seen, do you guess?
Lots, but they have a guy out to Shiawassee that does on a random basis. He does a count. And last week he counted 137 different bird species in the refuge. Now that doesn't include any fur-bearing animals. That's just birds alone.
And what kind of fur-bearing animals do we find there?
Okay.
What kind do we don't want to find there?
Well, there's nothing out there you'd have to be afraid of. Okay. There's certainly white-tailed deer. And if you're into white-tailed deer right now, you can see that the bucks are starting to grow their horns again. Any day now, you should start seeing fawns by the bunches because there's a lot of deer out there. I got a picture and a video a couple of days ago of a beaver swimming around. There's muskrats, there's rabbits, there's coyotes, there's squirrels, chipmunks, just about anything you can think of that's in Michigan.
Because of the tourism through the refuge, are the animals skittish of people, or less skittish than they might be elsewhere?
They're not. I think after a while, they get used to certain things. When you come upon some ducks that are in one of the ditches that are close to the road, if you stop to get their picture, in which I've done countless times, by the way, sometimes they'll fly away, but they fly, 100 foot down the ditch and they land again. They get used to it. And if there are some that could be a little bit more skittish, they got 10,000 acres there and they just fly a little farther from the road.
Yeah. Long lens helps.
Yeah. Yeah. Zoom helps a lot.
Zoom helps, right? So the bike ride, let's go back to that where we started. The bike ride is this Saturday.
This Saturday.
6 o'clock in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
And how many miles are we going to be riding? If a bike rider wants to do the whole circuit, what's the distance?
Well, to accommodate getting back to where your car is. Okay, we cut off some of the end of the drive-through to pick up the Ferguson Bayou Trail. So rather than be 7 miles, okay, we're looking at probably 6 miles, give or take a couple of feet, because as we cut through to come back through the woods, there's no way to do that in a straight line. We have to follow the trail, and the trail goes where it goes.
But it's not beyond the capabilities of most riders then.
Art, I'm 71 years old and I'm going to do it.
I'm 80. I think about it. I just bought a bike, so that's why I asked.
There you go. You can ride with me.
Oh, my goodness. Unfortunately, I have a meeting that night I have to be at, or I would do it. But is it open to bike riders regularly?
Now that's also the beauty of this event. You know, we got special permission. Scott Simmons, the new refuge manager, you know, helped me put this together so we can do it. Okay, Shiawassee also has other locations other than the one out there on the end of Curtis Road, where we have Woodland Trails, which is off of Center. Okay, there's a bike trail back there, and it's not always accommodating because of it backing up to Tittabawassee River, and high water kind of closes it down a little bit.
But can you ride a bike normally at Shiawassee?
Not in the main part of the refuge on that drive-through trail. You can't take the bike back there.
Is that right? So you have to, if you're going to do it, you have to do it Saturday with the group.
Absolutely.
Or you can use the other trails for bikes?
The Woodland Trail is open for biking.
Okay. Fascinating. I don't know how many people have ever been there, but it is certainly a gem in this region. And, you know, aside from the duck hunters and the folks that use it for other things, it is kind of a treasure just to drive around and just enjoy the nature.
Well, and to me, where it really got even more than that, a few years back when COVID hit, literally that refuge felt like a refuge for humans. You know, people wanted a place to go where they felt like they could be safe, you know, not have to worry about anything else and just relax. And that refuge is just a wonderful place just to be there. And, you know, to the folks that haven't been there, certainly that's why I'm glad I got the opportunity to be on this radio show. We'd love to have people come out and see what the refuge has to offer.
Are there other events during the year?
There's going to be other events. Again, with the Friends of Shiawassee, we're talking with Scott about what else we might be able to do out there. I'm taking a group of kindergartners on a hike through Greenpoint, and, you know, we're just looking for ways to get out there.
Yeah, very good. Well, Don, listen, thanks for stopping by today and telling us about it. Hope you get a lot of riders out there Saturday night, 6 o'clock.
Thank you very much, and I'm really appreciate the opportunity to talk with you.
We'll do it again.
Yep.
Don Konuszewski from the Friends of the Shiawassee National Wildlife Refuge. So if you're a biker, get your bicycle out Saturday, pedal around, and take a look at nature at its best. We'll be back. We'll have open phones for the remainder of the hour.
Homeowners, Bob Wilsey of Suntech Wind and Solar here in Standish. Are you looking for energy independence for your home? You should be. Michigan utilities are closing their remaining coal plants soon, resulting in more power outages. Home solar with battery backup not only provides power during the grid outage, it reduces your light bill every day the sun shines. Unlike a generator, it just sits there. I'd love to show you how it all works. Come visit us at 319 South Main Street in Standish, or visit us at suntech-windsolar.com.
At Wildfire Credit Union, loan rates are low and cash is back. Borrow for the things you want, consolidate high-interest credit cards, or refinance a loan and watch your monthly payments go down. We have members who save thousands of dollars. You can save too and get cash back.
It's coming back round again. Cash is back. Tell a friend.
It's easy to open a new loan or move an existing one to Wildfire. Just call, click, or come by any Wildfire branch in Saginaw, Midland, or Bay City and ask for cash back now through the end of August. We've got great rates and personalized solutions for your borrowing needs. Enjoy the things you want. Save money with lower monthly payments. Plus, get cash back.
It's coming back round again. Cash is back. Tell a friend. It's coming back.
Wildfire Credit Union. Distinctively better.
Cash is back. Tell a friend.
New loans only, subject to credit approval, equal housing lender.
Welcome to retirement. Now, replace your paycheck. To local financial coach Kevin Ray, this is what retirement planning is all about.
Building monthly paychecks. And how you build those monthly paychecks is going to determine how well in retirement you're going to enjoy it. So sit down and build a good framework, and it starts with income.
So build your framework with Kevin and the team at Insight Folios today by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
I'm Rocky Moselle with StarRegistry.com. Since we were children, we've been told to reach for the stars. It was great advice. Now it's a great gift. Name a star after someone. For $54 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com, we will name a star after someone very special to you and send an incredible personalized gift. The new star name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Call the Star Registry, 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com for the hottest gift.
For powerful HP tech your business can count on Staples. Staples has great prices on a full range of HP printers, PCs, laptops, and monitors. And now through May 27th, score an extra $50 off all HP laptops regularly priced $599.99 and above with the Staples Connect app. Plus, this week only, the HP OfficeJet 9015E wireless color inkjet printer is $70 off. For the best deals on the best HP tech for your small business, shop Staples. In-store only. Excludes Chromebooks and clearance.
The WSGW Broadcasting Studios are sponsored by the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center in Midland.
All right, we're back with you on WSGW, and for the remainder of the hour, we will have open phones. 989-752-6111 is the number to call. And Governor Whitmer announced yesterday, and this is not really new because it's been done in one form or another before, but she has announced a statewide crackdown of gun violence ahead of the summer. She made that announcement along with Mayor Duggan of Detroit. And if you're a legal gun owner, you don't have anything to worry about. You're not going to have them knocking on your door. What they're going to be doing is, in cooperation with the Michigan Department of Corrections, local law enforcement will partner with MDOC to carry out compliance checks on those on probation and parole that are barred from possessing firearms. The last time they did this, the Operation Safe Neighborhoods, they seized 389 guns that were in the illegal possession of individuals who weren't supposed to have guns. I think legitimate gun owners, those of us who own weapons and do so quite legally and have done all the proper paperwork and, purchased the guns legally from a dealer and all of that. From my vantage point, I would like to see those illegal guns taken off the street. That would make it better for everyone. You remove the illegal guns, which conduct most of the crime. Much of gun crime is perpetrated with illegal weapons. That would take a lot of the pressure off legal gun owners, because we wouldn't hear attempts to restrict our rights every day. So I'm all for it. Get the illegal guns off the streets any way you can. I'm for that. Don't have a problem with it. Let's talk to Paul in Saginaw. Paul, good morning.
Morning, Art. Art, the reason why I'm calling is because there was an article in yesterday's local newspaper on the front page that has some disinformation, a big omission, and some confusion.
Really?
And here's
What was the article about?
The article on the front page was about conversion therapy for minors in Michigan. And it says, the title is Advocates Push for Ban on Disputed Practice. It says banning conversion therapy on minors might just be the next LGBTQ related policy item Lansing tackles. Now, conversion therapy for minors in Michigan is perfectly legal, according to the article, if it's performed by a licensed, state-certified mental health professional. The item in question is in paragraph 3, where the article says conversion therapy is the practice of trying to force a person, sometimes physically, to change their gender or sexual identity. It's also perfectly legal in Michigan, period. Okay, now there's a big omission there and some confusion. And
well, what's the omission? Let's get to the point. What's the omission?
Conversion therapy is the practice of getting a person to change their gender back to their original birth gender.
That's the only way it ever works. It doesn't work the other way, huh?
Well, the article is misleading when it says conversion therapy is the practice of trying to get a person to change their gender. Okay, that's not what it is.
Well,
it's to go back to your original birth gender.
Think you're splitting hairs there a little bit.
Well, if someone read that saying that they want to change your gender against your right.
Here's what I want to know.
All right.
In the case of minors, does it exclude parents?
Well, I would think if you're a minor, the parents would have, and this is perfectly legal in Michigan, the parents would probably have some say.
Probably. You don't know that, though. That's always been a problem.
I don't know that.
A lot of these states that are pushing it that parents don't have a say. And
Correct.
I think that's ridiculous.
That's right. I agree with you. So right now there's, I believe, 21 or 27 states have banned this practice already.
Yeah. All right.
Michigan is trying to ban it as well.
Good.
But right now it's perfectly legal in Michigan.
All right. Fair enough.
So
good enough.
All righty.
Thanks, Paul.
All right.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Quick break. We'll come back. We'll get to Mark and John when we return after these notes. Let's start with my Ford dealer, McDonald Ford. It's where I buy my cars. Been buying them for a long time. They're at M47 in Freeland. But they want you to know at McDonald Ford, they're buying cars. Now, here's your chance. If you're looking to get a little cash in your pocket and you've got a surplus car, maybe a car you just don't want anymore, you want to sell it and maybe think about looking for something else, you can sell your vehicle by beginning the process online. I want you to send 7 photos of your car to joe@mcdonaldford.com. Now, here's what you take. You take pictures of the front, the rear, the left and right sides, the car's interior, the dashboard showing vehicle mileage, and a photo of your title showing the VIN number. You'll then receive an offer, and then you decide. If you decide you want to sell your car to McDonald Ford, payment is right now, on the spot, and it includes all paperwork and lien release. So don't wait. Put cash in your pocket today. Maybe you've got relatives, family, friends that want to do the same thing. Let them know about it. Send your photos to joe@mcdonaldford.com, joe@mcdonaldford.com. And by the way, if you mention my name, Art Lewis, they'll throw in a free lunch to boot. McDonald Ford, 6790 Midland Road in Freeland, devoted to helping and serving you.
Spring is in the air, and so is your opportunity to view homes featured by builders in Midland during the Midland Home Builders Association annual Spring Parade of Homes. Horizon Bank and Dow Credit Union invite you to tour the homes Saturday and Sunday, May 13th and 14th from 1 until 5 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday, May 20th and 21st from 1 until 5 p.m. Visit hbamidlandmi.com for complete tour information. That's hbamidlandmi.com. The annual Midland Home Builders Association Spring Parade of Homes. This is a free event.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Inflation has pushed up the cost of just about everything, which means if you bought life insurance a few years ago, it might not be enough to protect your family today. Now is the time to get the insurance you need at a price you can afford. In a hurry? Don't worry. Call Select Quote now and get up to $2 million in instant, affordable, same-day coverage with no medical exam. That's right. You can get up to $2 million in instant, affordable, same-day coverage with no medical exam in under an hour.
Call Select Quote at 1-800-613-8990. That's 1-800-613-8990. Or go to SelectQuote.com now and get up to $2 million in instant, affordable, same-day coverage with no medical exam. That's 1-800-613-8990. Or go to SelectQuote.com now. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
The WSGW Morning Team.
The WSGW online poll for you. The U.S. debt ceiling. President Biden and top Republicans and Democrats from Congress meeting to try and resolve the standoff over the $31.4 trillion U.S. debt ceiling. The president wants the federal government's borrowing limit raised without conditions. Republicans say there'll be no approval unless the deal includes cuts to spending to address the growing budget deficit. The Treasury Department warns a default could come as soon as June 1st. Some analysts say this could send the economy into a deep recession with a soaring unemployment rate. The WSW poll question for you. How should the U.S. debt ceiling be resolved? Raise the ceiling without conditions? Raise the ceiling only with cuts to spending too? Or you're not sure? We'd like you to vote. Head to WSGW.com. You scroll down the homepage and find the poll box. Click and vote that way. Thanks for participating with WSGW.
The WSGW Morning Team Show. Weekdays 5:30 till 9 on WSGW.
We're back here on WSGW, and let's get back to our phones. Mark is in Freeland. Mark, good morning.
Good morning. How are you, sir?
Good.
Hey, there was a report that came out, Durham report, in regards to the collusion with Russia and involved Trump. The disappointing thing that I got out of it is there's no accountability and there's no change to the FBI or CIA on how they conduct business.
Well, let's back up. That's not true. That's not totally true. And during this investigative period, which was 4 years, I don't know what took so long, the FBI did issue a letter to Durham talking about the changes made to prevent that from happening again. So the FBI did indeed react to it. So I just wanted to clarify that, because it's not like they did nothing, like they just said, "Oh well, too bad, so sad."
Right.
But I
Anthony
do agree
Blinken-
that there's
okay.
no accountability. I agree that he didn't find grounds to bring charges.
Right. So Anthony Blinken, I mean, got 50 former intelligence to sign a letter that he composed together saying that it's classic Russian disinformation.
Supposedly.
That was false. Supposedly. So that was false information that was put out there. And again, no accountability on that. Do you think Trump, after all the media and everything, put him through the mud for 4 years, has a defamation lawsuit that he could do? Because the same thing happened with Dominion. With
No. You're comparing apples and oranges. You're comparing apples and oranges. Dominion is a private company. Trump is a politician. The standards
he was not
are
a
different.
politician. He was running.
That
for
makes him a
office before
politician. He's in the political environment, and the standards are way different.
Okay.
Way different.
All right. Well,
but I agree with you. There should have been accountability. That we can agree on that.
Well, at least we got something to agree on.
All right, Mark. Good
Take
enough.
care.
Take care. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
And we have Joe in Saginaw. Joe, good morning.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
Good.
Just to comment on the foolishness about changing the debt limit,
yeah,
and all the putzing around that they're doing. I mean, do you use a credit card?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too. It's handy to, whenever you're shopping or whatever, to just stick that piece of plastic up there. But now, I pay mine off at the end of each month. Do you?
Pretty much.
And why do you do that?
Because I don't like interest.
Exactly. So why don't we increase taxes so that we don't have to be borrowing all the time? Would that not make more sense?
No, I tell you what make more sense. Spend less. Listen, if you're going to use us as the standard, then you have to ask yourself this, Joe. If you spend more than you can afford to pay back, you can't raise taxes, can you? You either have to go out and get another job and figure out how to make more money, or you spend less.
Exactly.
You spend within your budget.
Yeah, right. Now, but the thing is, what would you cut in the way of expenses?
Oh, I have to. Well, first of all, I'll tell you what I would tell you what I would do off the top. I'd protect the things that need protecting right away, like Medicare. But in order to protect Medicare, I would raise the age to be more in line with the actuarial tables today. We're living off actuarial tables that are 40, 50 years old, more than that.
Exactly, yeah.
So I would definitely do that. But
we should be raising the retirement age.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
We already have.
That's what I mean.
And Social Security would be the same thing.
And I'm one of those who believes that there's a lot of waste in government, that we could cull the waste and save a ton of money. That includes, by the way, the military. And I believe in a strong military, but I don't believe in $900 hammers. I believe that I believe that we can find ways to make the military efficient and not sacrifice security. Because the number one job of any president is to keep us safe.
Yeah, but and I think you're right. I think there's a lot of waste in government.
So I go after it.
Well, I think, and the same thing with the immigration plan. The crazy thing is, we're dealing with a system that was built 25, 30 years ago.
Oh, more than that. And nobody's tackled it over decades. So
right. And why we don't do that. But the other thing is,
real quick, Joe,
we should be, the thing is,
real quick,
we should cut those costs or raise taxes. But the thing is,
taxes are high enough.
Well, the thing is, how do people get elected currently? What do they tell us? Elect me and I'll cut your taxes.
No, elect me and I'll put something in your hand.
No,
Because
elect me
you
and I'll
got
cut
to
your
no, you got to
taxes.
remember there's two sides to that. There are a group of people who say, "Yeah, cut my taxes," and there's a bigger group of people with their palm up saying, "Give me largesse, and I'll live off the government." And unfortunately,
Well-
half the people in this country don't pay taxes because of that.
That's true.
So,
And
hey,
of
I got to
course,
go, Joe.
many-
Sorry, got to go.
Many of them are the
Got to go,
wealthiest people
Joe.
in this country, too.
Bye.
You know, I'm starting to worry about all this crime lately.
I was worried too, so I made sure I was prepared.
How'd you do that?
I took my CPL class at Applied Training Solutions. They covered everything I needed to know to get my concealed pistol license. You can never be too safe.
Applied Training Solution is Michigan's premier training facility. We offer both live fire training and digital simulation training. Whether you're looking for your initial training or advanced training, see us at simurange.com or ATS Midland on Facebook.
Inflation is nothing more than legalized theft. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and to preserve your wealth, I highly recommend keeping physical gold in your retirement account. To learn more, text the word safeguard to 989898 to get a free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold, which is the only gold IRA company I trust. So text safeguard to 989898 to request your free info kit right now.
Mornings were made for better things than rheumatoid arthritis or RA. Xeljanz tofacitinib is a pill for adults with moderate to severe RA when tumor necrosis factor blockers did not work well or could not be tolerated. Xeljanz can help relieve joint pain, swelling, and help stop further joint damage. Xeljanz can lower your ability to fight infections. Don't start if you have one. Before and during treatment, your doctor should check for infections like TB and do blood tests. Serious, sometimes fatal infections, cancers including lymphoma and lung, blood clots, serious heart-related events, tears in the stomach or intestines, and allergic reactions have happened. People 50 and older with heart disease risk factors have an increased risk of death. Tell your doctor if you've had hepatitis B or C, have flu-like symptoms, are prone to infections, or have ever had a heart attack, stroke, clot, or other heart problems, or swelling of lips, tongue, throat, or hives. Ask your doctor about prescription Xeljanz. Visit Xeljanz.com or call 1-844-XELJANZ.
All right, Jeff, call back next hour when we have open phones after our guest. Sorry I didn't get to you this hour. Well, we have news coming up from CBS, the National and International Report. And Michael Perch is in the WSGW newsroom to bring you up to date on what's happening in the region and the state. Then we're going to be back to talk with Colleen Moynihan about dioxin cleanup in the Tittabawassee River. All of that is ahead.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Christopher Cruz in Washington. A Republican supermajority in the North Carolina House of Representatives yesterday joined the state Senate in overriding the Democratic governor's veto of an abortion bill. That bill bans abortions after 12 weeks of pregnancy. Democratic State Representative Diamond Staten Williams.
When I read this language of Senate Bill 20, all I see is the removal of the God-given right for myself and folks like me to make decisions for ourselves.
Williams said she herself had ended unviable pregnancies after having already had 2 children. President Biden is leaving this morning for Japan for a summit of the world's largest economies. But the trip has been shortened because of the debt ceiling crisis. CBS's Weijia Jiang has that.
President Biden said that even though he is going overseas, he plans to speak with congressional leaders by phone regularly and that their staffs would meet here in Washington daily. He plans to come back to town on Sunday.
Sources tell CBS News that investigators are scouring grainy video that may show the person who got into the home of National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan. CBS's Catherine Herridge reports U.S. law enforcement officials confirm the man slipped past at least 3 Secret Service agents and then through a robust interior security system.
The door was reportedly unlocked when the intruder, apparently intoxicated, entered the home 2 weeks ago around 3 a.m. Sullivan confronted the man and told him to leave. The Secret Service detail outside did not know about the break-in until Sullivan told them.
A struggling NBA team has won the opportunity to make the #1 draft pick, a teenager almost no one has ever heard of.
The #1 pick in the 2023
NBA draft goes to the San Antonio Spurs.
And the Spurs' number 1 overall pick will likely be 19-year-old French hoop star Victor Wembanyama, who issued a warning on ESPN.
I'm trying to win the ring ASAP, so be ready.
The 7'3" teenager is considered the best draft prospect since LeBron James. The Spurs can put him to good use. The team tied for second worst in the league this season. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
House Democrats are forcing a vote on expelling New York Republican Congressman George Santos. The effort is expected to fail, but it will force Republicans to take a stand on their indicted colleague, something that many of them say they would prefer not to do. On Wall Street, Dow futures having risen on new hopes that the debt ceiling deal would be reached. The Dow itself is now up 69 points at this hour, S&P 500 up 5. This is CBS News.
Find your next great hire with Indeed. Their hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in the same place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Start your day off with a bang at Sbarro in Midland. Our breakfast pizza is a crowd pleaser made fresh every morning with dough, sauces, eggs, and even the cheese being made in-house. That's right, no frozen ingredients here. So why settle for a boring breakfast when you can fuel up with our delicious breakfast pizza? Swing by Sbarro in the Forward Shell gas station on East Isabella Road and grab a slice to go. Don't miss out on the most important meal of the day, only at Sbarro in Midland.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Wake up, people. You're optimizing every waking hour of your life, from carpooling kids to work to friends and everything in between. You have to get sleep and a bed that can perform as well as you do. Meet the next generation Sleep Number Smart Bed. It effortlessly adjusts to your shape, position, and movements, learning how you sleep so you learn to sleep better night after night. Sleep next level, only from Sleep Number. Save 50% on the Sleep Number Limited Edition Smart Bed, plus special financing. Ends Monday. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com. See store for details.
I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. You've heard me talking about the payroll tax refund for months. If you own a business, even if you've asked your CPA about this, you owe it to yourself to take another look. We provide a licensed and insured tax attorney who evaluates your company at my expense to determine eligibility. Businesses of all types can qualify, so go to getrefunds.com to potentially get a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. Download the Innovation Refunds app or go to getrefunds.com, getrefunds.com.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies and 45 degrees at 10:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Perchup. Police did not take anyone into custody after a customer at the Fashion Square Mall in Saginaw Township was cut with a knife on Monday. Police responded to the mall after the customer and a security guard got into a fight. The customer suffered at least one injury from the knife. Their condition is unknown at this time. The Saginaw County Prosecutor's Office will determine if any charges will be filed. An initiative meant to help grow Bay City's population is trending upward. The Bay City Commission got an update on the Hey Bay City project during Monday evening's meeting. The program seeks to attract people to the region and retain a young workforce by telling the stories of individuals in the community. Bay Area Chamber of Commerce Director of Marketing and Placemaking, Phil Ike, gave an overview of some of the stories covered on the group's weekly podcast, as well as social media platforms.
The stories that we've covered so far, it's a mix of different communities, businesses, nonprofits, also some workforce development educational series that Marlene and I do. Tips on how to write a better resume, interviews, how to find a career that's right for you.
Ike says compared to similar initiatives nationwide, Hey Bay City is seeing remarkable growth and interaction, even though it's only been running for 3 months. The Hemlock Public School District is hiring bus drivers to join their transportation team. Free training is provided to all successful applicants, even those without previous experience. The district says morning and afternoon shifts are available, offering flexibility for other job opportunities or personal responsibilities. Superintendent Don Killingbeck says the drivers play a critical role in ensuring student safety and success. The district is looking for applicants with a clean driving record, a valid driver's license, and a desire to work with children. Applications can be found at the Hemlock Public School District website under Employment Opportunities. For more information, call the Transportation Department at 989-642-5282. WSGW News Time, 10:07.
At Wildfire Credit Union, loan rates are low and cash is back. Borrow for the things you want. Consolidate high-interest credit cards, or refinance a loan and watch your monthly payments go down. We have members who save thousands of dollars. You can save too and get cash back.
It's coming back, round again. Cash is back. Tell a friend.
It's easy to open a new loan or move an existing one to Wildfire. Just call, click, or come by any Wildfire branch in Saginaw, Midland, or Bay City and ask for cash back now through the end of August. We've got great rates and personalized solutions for your borrowing needs. Enjoy the things you want. Save money with lower monthly payments. Plus, get cash back.
It's coming back, round again. Cash is back. Tell a friend. It's coming back.
Wildfire Credit Union. Distinctively better.
Cash is back. Tell a friend.
New loans only, subject to credit approval, equal housing lender.
WSGW News Time, 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up. Some headstones have been damaged at St. Mary's Cemetery in Bronson Township, southwest of Coldwater. State police say a pickup truck crashed into several headstones after 2 Saturday morning when the driver lost control of his vehicle. It's believed alcohol was a factor in the crash. Police found a woman with the truck, but they're investigating whether a man found nearby with injuries was actually the driver. Talks are underway to end the standoff between Stellantis and the Canadian government. Here's an update from Autobeat reporter Jeff Gilbert.
Unifor is saying that companies like Stellantis don't make threats, they make decisions, and that the Canadian government should take seriously Stellantis' decision to stop working on a Windsor battery plant and start working on unspecified contingency plans. The Canadian government says they're negotiating with Stellantis in good faith. Stellantis isn't talking specifics, but the union says they want government incentives similar to what were given to Volkswagen for its Canadian battery plant. Jeff Gilbert, the Michigan News Network.
Online betting revenues suffered a March Madness hangover in Michigan. The Michigan Gaming Control Board says casinos took in over $195 million in gaming and sports betting receipt in April, which was down nearly 10% from March. During March Madness, internet gaming brought in a record $171 million alone, while online sports betting took in more than $44 million. WSGW News Time, 10:10. Here's WNEM's First Alert meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Wednesday has a high of 56 degrees, but if you're closer to Lake Huron, you might actually not even leave the 40s for today. If you're closer to US 127, you should hit that 60-degree mark, but we do have sunny skies with a northeast wind at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Then tonight, that wind starts to shift southeasterly, still at the same speed, and mostly clear for tonight, just a few high clouds and a low of 36. More importantly, frost is still on the table for tonight. For your Thursday, a high of 70, mostly sunny with a south-southeast wind at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday, a high of 73. There is a chance of rain as we head into Friday, too. The better chance is starting to look to be into the afternoon, but definitely much needed after how dry we've been this week. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
And currently 45 degrees under cloudy skies here at WSGW.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions. From around your block to around the world, the Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
Yes, indeed. Westside Decorating Center, 5789 State Street in Saginaw. Newly expanded showroom, and they've included countertops now, porcelain, granite, quartz. You'll find it all, anything for home decorating at Westside Decorating Center. Later on in the hour, we'll have open phones, but we're going to begin talking about a project that's been going on for quite some time. along our river system in the Great Lakes Bay region, and that's dioxin cleanup. And with us to talk about it this morning is the remedial project manager for the EPA. We say good morning to Colleen Moynihan. Good morning, Colleen.
Good morning, Art. How are you doing?
We're doing well. Thanks for being with us. So I guess the first question has to be, since this has been going on now for quite some time, with Dow doing remedial cleanup under the supervision of the EPA, how far along are we and how much more is there to do?
Yeah, you're right. For the past several years, a lot of the work and cleanup activities have been focused on the Tittabawassee River. So we have completed multiple cleanups of the sediment, banks, stabilizing riverbanks, as well as residential cleanup. And now we're at a point where we're turning the river and focusing, and Dow is focusing on investigating the Saginaw River.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was saying in some way we're completing, cleanups and construction along the Tittabawassee. And then as we turn to the Saginaw River, Dow's looking at more investigating and collecting data.
So and then that's good, because that was my question, because it would seem to me, and I'm certainly a layman when it comes to this, the Saginaw River is so far downstream that anything in there would be highly diluted, wouldn't it?
Well, a lot of it is, the historic release from the Dow Chemical Company, and over time that sediment has transported right downstream to the confluence of the Tittabawassee and the Saginaw. And then ultimately, that's part of the investigation to answer the questions. We know the release from the facility and how far has that contamination traveled. So that's kind of the focus of the investigation on the Saginaw, to collect samples along the river as well as collect sediment samples.
And I have to believe, and this is just a guess on my part, but the flood of a few years ago where we lost the two dams and water was everywhere, that had to spread that around a little bit, didn't it?
Well, no, I think one of the immediate things that the agency required Dow to do was to go back and resample some properties that had been cleaned up. Also, we do have Dow, after a cleanup is conducted, there's yearly monitoring. So based on the assessment after that flooding, there was indicated that that the construction work or the cleanup work that has happened had been stabilized, and the flooding did not impact that.
Oh, that's good news. How about public input in all of this? What's the public's role?
Yeah, like we've talked about, for several years, there's been work along the Tittabawassee, and we do have a community involvement plan, which helps guide the agency to understand how residents want to, how residents obtain information, right? And a lot has changed since 2010 about how people get information. And again, also we have focused on the Tittabawassee River. So now, the agency is interested in talking to residents who live not only along the Tittabawassee River, but the Saginaw River and the Bay, to kind of hear what information they have about the Saginaw and the river system, answer questions and concerns, because we're looking at updating that community engagement plan so it's the ability to kind of keep residents and businesses informed about the activities, about what's going on.
So I know the Saginaw City hearing has passed, but what dates are still available for the public to provide input?
Yeah, so we have 2 dates and 2 locations where we asked, we would like to set up a 30-minute interview. So the dates coming up are at the Thomas Township Library from May 23rd through May to the 25th. The other event is at the Bay City Library, and those dates are from June 5th through the 7th. So we ask that people call and contact Meg Musa at 440-688-4006 to set up and schedule a 30-minute interview to talk with EPA.
So these are one-on-one?
Yeah, they can be one-on-one, or if family members want to attend, or sometimes we're looking for, there's already established community groups that live along that work or connected to the river system along the Saginaw. And so there'd be opportunity for EPA to attend those types of meetings to speak with them, to get information, be able to answer questions.
All right, so let's use me as an example because I happen to live along the Tittabawassee, but I'm on the high side of River Road. If I were to call and set up an appointment, what types of information are you going to be looking for from me?
Well, I think it's just going to be, a dialogue and a conversation. I think a lot of it is just first hearing. Some people want to really have lived along the river system for many years and have seen how things have changed, or might have been around where this one company was there and now it's gone. So a lot of it is just listening to residents and hearing information, which sometimes help guide our investigation, because of those people who've been along the river for many years might have information that you can't get on Google or something like that. So we find it's like an interview, or just listening perspective, and then really trying to get, if that resident wants more information, how do they get their news? Do they go online? Is there a local community newspaper? Because once that resident leaves our interview, we want to make sure that we can touch base with them again and continue to keep them informed about the progress of the site.
Is there a site where the general public can go to see the remedial work and progress?
Yeah, EPA has a website. It's the Tittabawassee. It's, do you want me to give you the www?
Yeah, sure.
Online, or what's the
if you
easiest
have it.
way?
If you have it.
Yeah, I mean, it's www.epa.gov/superfund/Tittabawassee-river. Sometimes even just Googling Tittabawassee River Superfund site, you can find it that way. And there really is there'll be fact sheets and documents, and we try to provide a brief summary, of activities that have happened and what to look forward for, what activities are going to be happening this year.
So from the EPA standpoint, how much longer for this remedial effort before you can say, we did it?
Yeah, and I think when you ask that type of question, I focus on the Tittabawassee, like we've talked about the Tittabawassee River. There's been a lot of construction activity. So I would say over the next 2 to 5 years, we would be, done with construction, right? Done with cleanup. And then we would really just be focusing on monitoring all the work that has been done. So that's a different story for the Saginaw River, right? We still Dow still needs to collect data, assess that data. Does there need to be a cleanup plan? Does there need to be commercial or residential property along the Saginaw that needs to be cleaned up, and also looking into the bay? So we're out a couple of years because in the Saginaw River, because we're more in an investigation, collecting information phase.
Very good. Well, Colleen, listen, I appreciate your time this morning, and maybe down the road when more information is available about the Saginaw River, we can do this again.
Sure.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Yeah. Have a great day. Bye-bye now. Colleen Moynihan, and she is the remedial project manager for the EPA for the cleanup on the Tittabawassee and now apparently looking at the Saginaw. They haven't said they need to clean it up yet. They don't have the data to do that yet. So we'll keep that in mind. All right, we'll have open phones for the remainder of the program right up till 11 o'clock. 989-752-6111, the number to call.
Liberty Bridge is your gateway to work, school, downtown, and the Midland Street Business District. Save time and fuel by taking Liberty to your destination. Avoid congestion at other local bridges and experience Bay City's newest, most reliable bridge, brought to you by local union workers and Bay City Bridge Partners. Tolling begins soon. For your passport to the lowest rates, create your account online today at BayCityBridgePartners.com or visit the Bay City Bridge Partners Customer Service Center at 300 Center Avenue in downtown Bay City.
Are you starting to feel boxed in, suffering from achy bones, or getting restless maybe? you need to get outside and come to the Camping Fever RV sale at General RV, May 17th through the 21st. With up to 40% off your favorite RVs, you could save thousands. Don't let your vision start to blur because you've been staring at four walls all day. See General RV and just start camping. In Birch Run off I-75.
Camping in an RV may be habit forming. You could have so much fun, you'll never want it to end.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
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 Babbel, évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks opened higher after yesterday's sell-off. Target shares opened with a gain. The company reported better than expected earnings, though sales growth stalled in the quarter as shoppers purchased home essentials and food, but pulled back on the other things that Target sells. TJX, parent company of discount retailer TJ Maxx, reported upbeat earnings. Its stock is up 0.5%. It also owns Home Goods, which saw sales decline after what the company calls extraordinary growth in the pandemic. Lyft is making changes to turn around the business. It hired an industry veteran, Aaron Brewer from Charles Schwab, to serve as its chief financial officer. Lyft shares are up 1%. And Tesla shares opened higher. It's considering advertising its cars. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Inflation is nothing more than legalized theft. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and to preserve your wealth, I highly recommend keeping physical gold in your retirement account. To learn more, text the word SHELTER to 989898 to get a free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold, which is the only gold IRA company I trust. So text SHELTER to 989898 to request your free info kit right now.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
The WSGW Morning Team.
The resignation from adulthood. I have decided I would like to accept the responsibilities of an 8-year-old again. I want to go to McDonald's and think that it's a 4-star restaurant. I want to sail sticks across a fresh mud puddle. I want to think M&Ms are better than money because you can eat them. I want to return to a time when life was simple and all you knew were colors, nursery rhymes. That didn't bother you because you didn't know what you didn't know and you didn't care. I want to think the world is fair, that everyone is honest and good. I want to be oblivious to the complexities of life and be overly excited by the little things again. So, I am officially resigning from adulthood. And if you want to discuss this further, you'll have to catch me first because tag, you're it.
Your Morning Team, 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW, the Art Lewis Show, and in the remaining time for the next half hour or so, open phones, whatever you'd like to chat about, 989-752-6111, the number to call. I'm sure you've heard about Representative George Santos, the Republican from New York, who totally fabricated his background, totally lied about his background. He's facing a whole bunch, I think 13 counts of fraud, lying to Congress, mishandling of political donations, things of that nature. There is a movement afoot to expel him from Congress. But as much as I might agree the guy doesn't belong there, this is a political move. It's a letter written by 50 members of Congress asking to force a vote to expel Santos from the House. All 50 are Democrats in a Republican House. Now, the other obstacle to doing it, particularly when you have a Republican majority of a few votes, it takes 2/3 majority vote to expel a member. Now, that resolution has 50 co-sponsors, all Democrats. The chances are Republicans would not act on it. Not because they like Santos, because a number of Republicans have said he ought to go. But the difference in votes is so slim in the House, only 3 or 4 votes. Republicans are not going to want to lose a vote right now until the time comes where he's prosecuted and found guilty and sentenced and can't fulfill his role anymore. But politics is going to dictate what happens at this point in time. So while the 50 Democrats can send their letter, and they might even get a few Republicans that sign on and say, yeah, let's do that, it takes 2/3 to expel. That isn't going to happen. That is not going to happen. And, I guess I don't understand Santos' mentality. Here's a guy, he knows he's under fire. And he also knows he's just been indicted on 13 counts. And what did he do 2 weeks ago? He announced for re-election. I mean, I can't imagine what it'd be like to think that way. You know you lied to constituents. You know you're in severe legal problems. You know you're not wanted. And what do? Hey, I'm going to run for re-election again. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Let's talk to Wayne in Montrose. Wayne, good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
So the only comment that I'd have to make is, yeah, this guy Santos, he's obviously a liar. He's whatever he is. He's not a good guy. But then again, on the other hand, when I scan back over the span of time, I saw the Clintons engaged in a lot of lying. When you talk about the Russia thing, wow. Yeah. You talk about Monica Lewinsky, you or I would have went to prison for 4 years for lying to a federal judge in a court of law. Yeah. So, okay, this guy Santos, he's bad and all that, but Hillary continued on to run for president on nothing but a pack of lies. Her husband was not removed from office, and that's only the beginning. We could go further. In both parties, I feel it's a little heavier on one side than the other, but at the moment, this guy Santos, as big of a liar as he is voting in a way to try to save the nation from itself economically.
Well, here's the one caveat to all of that, and it's all true. Caveat is he has been indicted on 13 counts, so he's going to have to face the courts and go from there. But you're right. I mean, there's been a lot of, lying has been a tradition in Washington forever. Unfortunately for us, but and it's not exclusive to one side or the other. But certainly the items you brought up are in the forefront, no doubt about it.
When you look at 30,000 deleted emails, a lot of secret things, a lot of and I don't remember of anybody facing any charges.
No. Well, the problem is all of that is true, but we're beating a dead horse.
Yeah,
that horse is out of the barn. The door's closed. It's not going back. I think what we need to do is figure out how to move forward in the future to prevent those kinds of things from happening. And that's a difficult deal because the people responsible for creating the fix are the people that misuse it in the first place.
I agree. If we can go forward, like you say, we go forward into the future, we elect the right people, and they begin to terminate the top 5% of some of our major agencies and replace them with people that'll follow the Constitution. That will be our greatest step forward, along with term limits.
Well,
so
let's face it, the heads of agencies serve at the pleasure of the president. So depending which party has power, that tells you what's going to happen.
All right. That's why we need to elect the correct people to clean that house out.
Good luck.
And you know what I mean.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good one. Take care.
Yep, you too.
Bye-bye, Wayne. And let's talk to Carol in Sheridan. Carol, good morning.
Good morning. I wish these guys would just go outdoors in the Wildlife Federation area and get a little fresh air and forget about all this crap. Wouldn't that be nice? But you wouldn't have a show, right?
Oh, we could find stuff to talk about, I'm sure.
I mean, come on, you're comparing apples to oranges. One of them is just as crappy as the other. But this Santos, now they said he stole money from the Veterans Dog Fund. I mean, this should upset people. This should, if anything.
Well, hang on a minute now. Hang on, Carol, because you will understand that in this country you're innocent until proven guilty. He's been accused of that, yes, but he hasn't been proven of it yet. Let's see what happens in court.
Okay, but even if he's accused of it and you're stealing money from dogs.
Well, wait, how do you know he's doing that? He's just accused of it.
I said if.
No, you said. He said if he's. Well, okay, you didn't quite say it that way, but I understand what you mean.
He's not accused, but anybody that would steal money from dogs have got to be bad.
Well, but then you're assuming that he did it.
Well, he's done everything else left to do.
Well, no, he hasn't. He hasn't been proven. Nothing's been proven. He's been accused. He's been accused. I mean, if somebody came up to you and said, "Carol, you're stealing money from dogs," well, you don't. I know you. You don't do that. But the fact is, you were accused, and now somebody has to prove it.
Now you're getting all upset.
I love it.
You're supposed to go in the Wildlife Federation area too, and I give money to the Wildlife Federation and the Nature Conservancy to do a wonderful job. But all these people are. If you just go outdoors, it just relieves so much tension.
Yeah.
It really it
does.
Even people that are have all kinds of mental problems. If they go outdoors, it helps to clear your head.
I just bought a bicycle to do that very thing.
Well, don't hurt yourself on it.
I'll try. I got a helmet.
It's not a big tire one, is it? My girlfriend got on one of them, and she thought it went slower because of the big tires, and she hurt her wrist when she fell off.
Yeah.
They look like they don't go very fast, but I guess they do.
Oh, yeah. It's got a lot of gears.
But it don't have any little motor on it, right?
No. It's not an electric one. No, you got to pedal.
Oh, well, I know an old guy that got he's a friend of our son-in-law, and he got one of the three-wheelers that's got a little motor that helps, and he's worried about him because it'll kick right out there and go.
All right.
But a little fresh air for everybody would be wonderful.
All right, Carol. Thanks.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. All right, we'll take a break. Be back with more here on WSGW.
Homeowners, Bob Wilsey of Suntech Wind and Solar here in Standish. Are you looking for energy independence for your home? You should be. Michigan utilities are closing their remaining coal plants soon, resulting in more power outages. Home solar with battery backup not only provides power during the grid outage, it reduces your light bill every day the sun shines. Unlike a generator, it just sits there. I'd love to show you how it all works. Come visit us at 319 South Main Street in Standish or visit us at suntech-windsolar.com.
Inflation is nothing more than legalized theft. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and to preserve your wealth, I highly recommend keeping physical gold in your retirement account. To learn more, text the word safeguard to 989898 to get a free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold, which is the only gold IRA company I trust. So text safeguard to 989898 to request your free info kit right now.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Poor Sam was a mess. Always itching, licking. His paws were soaking wet. He had bald spots on his back. DINOVITE.com. 2 weeks after he started Dynamite, I started seeing great improvements. And today, 99% of his issues are non-existent. Dynamite is nutrition. Dynamite is the best thing you can do for your dog.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
I get my Dynamite from DINOVITE.com.
If you own a small to medium-sized business that kept employees on payroll through COVID, you may have a big cash refund waiting for you. The Employee Retention Credit is a tax credit of up to $26,000 per employee. And now, more businesses than ever qualify. The experts at RefundsPro.com specialize in cutting through the red tape of qualifying for this government program. Most of their refunds are over $100,000. Even businesses that have received PPP funds may be eligible. And there are absolutely no fees unless you receive a refund. So there's no reason not to apply. If your business experienced shutdowns, limited capacity, supply chain challenges, or reduced revenue due to COVID, you likely qualify. RefundsPro.com has already helped hundreds of businesses. So don't lose the refund you're owed by missing the deadline. Get started today with a free 5-minute questionnaire at RefundsPro.com. That's refunds with an S, pro.com.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at ooma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
2 on, 2 outs, ninth inning. Tigers leading by 2. Lang ready. The 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Got him. Tigers win.
The Tigers play 12:45 today on 790 News Radio WSGW. Thank you for being with 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW in the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW, and let's get back to our phones. Scott is in Saginaw. Scott, good morning.
Hey, morning, Art. Yeah, I just wanted to talk real quick about the border issue here that maybe people aren't considering yet, that we won't have another census for another 7 years. So far we have 7 million people coming into our country who will not be counted in these communities. So our overwhelmed schools, overwhelmed hospitals, overwhelmed food banks, so on, will now have to pull from somewhere else to pay for these people. Some of these people do not have a court date until 2027, which means they cannot legally get a job or rent. This is going to just completely devastate communities over time. It's going to bankrupt us. And we haven't seen even the beginning of this yet. And I'm going to make another prediction here that I almost think that this president wants us to go bankrupt here with this whole debt thing. Where's he at? He's not even in the country. He's not even in the country, Art. I mean, that's huge.
First of all, if you're going to talk about that, then you have to be fair, and you have to say he's cutting his trip short and he is coming home. He had a G7 meeting and he's coming home. So I'm not talking about the issue. I'm just talking about him. But here's the deal. I think you're right. It's going to certainly hurt the economy because I don't know how these communities are going to handle it. But the issue needs to be tackled by not just the administration, by Congress. It has been kicked down the road on both sides for decades, and we are now seeing the results. Because when you get an administration like this one that's even more lax on the border than they should be, it just compounds it. And we're seeing the results. And that's unfortunate. And now somehow they got to fix the problem. And I don't see the wherewithal. I just do not see the wherewithal to do it.
Well, especially when this administration is basically dismantled the ICE agency.
Yeah, well, it's there's a lot of things. It's not just one thing. It's
no. These guys are doing plenty of things. Yeah, definitely.
But again, understand the system's broken, and it's been broken for a long time.
It might be broken, but there's a difference between having a broken system and people's. Well, our immigration policy wasn't broken. It might not have been the best, but we had the securest border 3 years ago than for a long time. We have the same laws put in place, but this administration chooses not to follow it. Because if they would have followed Title 42, then by law, all these people would still be waiting for their claim asylum cases to be heard. Where? In Mexico.
Yeah, but you know what? You know what? With the end of Title 42, they haven't seen the expected surge that they were talking about. It's been constant. I mean, there's still a flow across the border. Don't get me wrong. But they haven't seen the big surge they thought they were going to see. Either way, it's not good. Either way,
I can't believe it, Art, because this is what I'm being told. When it was against the law, 10,000 people were pouring across our border a day. Now that it's legal, half the people are coming. That's like saying, let's make murder legal. Well, nobody's going to get shot no more. Something's not right. I mean, if you watch the interview with Mayorkas, he's got that little smirk on his face, and he's saying everything's
I've got to use
everything's working. Oh, I hear you. One last thing. I called the Michigan State Police Department today, and they bounced me around the phone there. Nobody could answer this question. I said, with the new expungement program, if somebody previously who had the charge on them could not possess a gun, now after the expungement, can they possess a gun? Nobody can answer the question.
That's an interesting question. I don't know the answer to that. That's interesting. I will pursue that.
Police department.
I will pursue that.
I'll talk to you.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
989-752-6111. That's an interesting question because they are going to, in cooperation with the Michigan Department of Corrections and local law enforcement, visit homes of parolees and probationers who by law are not allowed to have guns. The last time they did this, they collected something like 389 illegal weapons. But that's an interesting question. If they expunge your record, does that reinstate your abilities? That's interesting. Maybe some of my legal friends out there can talk about that. I don't know. That's a very interesting question. We'll take a break and be back.
Who sells your soybeans overseas, increasing sales to Egypt, India, and many other emerging markets? Who has made you the #1 protein source in chicken feed? Who has made the next big breakthrough to boost your soybean yield? The answer to all of these questions is you. That's right, you do, through your soy checkoff. By pooling your resources through your soy checkoff, you are promoting your soybeans to new markets. You are discovering new practices and seed varieties to overcome your biggest challenges in the field. You have even turned $2 million of infrastructure research into $460 million per year in extra income for all soybean farmers. There is power in numbers, and you and your fellow soybean farmers are proving it by bringing tangible returns back to you and your operations through Your Soy Checkoff. You can see all the ways Your Soy Checkoff is moving soy forward for you at unitedsoybean.org. That's unitedsoybean.org. It's all about you doing things together as Your Soy Checkoff.
Get everything for your automotive needs with 11% off at Menards. Pennzoil offers superior synthetic motor oil. It can get you better fuel economy and protects your engine to keep you on the road. Grab a 5-quart jug of Pennzoil synthetic motor oil for just $15.99 after 11% rebate at Menards. Good through May 21st. Savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Babbel. Évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. You've heard me talking about the payroll tax refund for months. If you own a business, even if you've asked your CPA about this, you owe it to yourself to take another look. We provide a licensed and insured tax attorney who evaluates your company at my expense to determine eligibility. Businesses of all types can qualify, so go to GetRefunds.com to potentially get a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. Download the Innovation Refunds app or go to GetRefunds.com. GetRefunds.com.
Hi, this is Mike Avery. You know you can hear my Outdoor Magazine show Sunday mornings, 9 till noon on WSGW. But now there's another option. Saturday morning, 6 till 9. Tune in for the latest outdoor news and information, hunting and fishing tips, wildlife and conservation issues, even some wild game cooking. That's Outdoor Magazine now on Saturday mornings too, 6 till 9, right here on WSGW 790 AM and 100.5 FM.
All right, we're back, and let's talk to Dan in Bay City. Dan, good morning to you.
Good morning, Art. This new immigration law has a lot of things in it that are maybe keeping people from coming here. If anybody wants to look it up, it would be a good idea before they start talking about how bad it is.
Yeah, they have.
There is a stipulation there about passing through another country without asking for asylum in those, and then there's also these places that they'll be setting up in these countries, so the people will have to go to those first before they come to our borders.
Yeah, and you'll be banned for 5 years. But the ban for 5 years is fine, so you find some place to cross the border someplace else. Listen, yeah. I understand these are nice little stopgaps they've put in now, but the system needs to be overhauled. And nobody is saying we shouldn't have immigrants. This country was built on it, built on immigrants. We need immigration. We need people coming to this country with high skill levels and work ethic and things of that nature. But I can't think of how many decades it's been now since somebody seriously sat down in Congress and came up with an immigration plan.
Well, actually, I think it was Ronald Reagan.
Well, I haven't been the last time, so that's how many decades ago.
Yeah, exactly.
So I just
whichever side gets into power, and they just beat up the other side and do what they want to do.
Exactly. And I chuckle at all the northern mayors complaining that they're getting these immigrants. Just think of what it'd be like to be a mayor in Texas or Arizona or New Mexico or someplace else where there's a big border. This problem needs to be fixed, and I'm not smart enough to have the answer, I guess.
Well, if they're not criminals, or if they have a good background, then you just give them a green card and a possible so they can go to work.
Well,
and if they go to work, they'll have a card and they can say, "Look, I'm here and I'm waiting for this." So instead of having hiring signs everywhere I go and having poor service, which was in Florida, was the worst service that I've ever seen in my life. I had to wait and wait and wait for everything. They need people in these jobs, and there's no people in America to work there, I guess, because
that was always the
4% unemployment rate, 3.4%. There's nobody left to work.
Well, there's a lot of people that aren't counted in that, and that was always the argument with agriculture. The migrant workers work the farms because Americans didn't want to do it. And
exactly.
I understand that, but there has to be an orderly acquisition, not this. First of all, the thing that worries me, we get numbers of how many they've turned back at the border or caught at the border. The question is, how many haven't they caught at the border, and who are those people?
Well, I know where they are. I was just in North Carolina.
They're all over,
and they're building houses, and then they're everywhere. They don't speak English. So in fact, I went to a church that had it's a Catholic church, and they had a mass just for the Hispanics. Yeah. And that mass was completely packed, and I went to it because it was the only time I could go. And it was all in Spanish. None of those.
Yeah. However, you don't know if those people are legal or illegal. Chances are a lot of them are legally here. Not speaking English doesn't make you illegal.
I know, but they had confirmation of kids that were at least 8 to 10 to 15, and they had to give them instructions in both English, and then they had an interpreter. They gave it to them.
But that doesn't tell you whether they're here legally or not, does it? That only tells you they don't speak English.
No. So, but if they're here and they're 15 years old, they should be able to speak English. Am I correct or not? Because how'd they get through high school?
Depends how long they've been here.
Well, there's a lot of them there.
Yeah, I'm just saying you can't judge it by the surface look. You got to know more about it.
I just know that they're everywhere, and there's 6,000 or 8,000 farms in Wisconsin. If we went and rounded them all up, we wouldn't have any milk.
Yeah. All right. Good enough. Thanks, Dan. Take care. Bye-bye now. And this is Tim in Hemlock. Tim, good morning.
Good morning, Art. How you doing?
Doing well. Thanks.
I just wanted to call in and in reference to one of Scott's comments about the border. Three years ago, he said the border was the most secure border that we've had. And the fact of the matter is,
1.2 million came through.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it was 2019 and it wasn't quite that many, but you're right. It's those that we're apprehending. It was 800,000 that we apprehended. That was 2019. That was under Donald Trump.
Yeah, it's never been closed. It's never been closed.
But that's the highest number since 2007. I mean, that was the most coming across. Now, I totally agree with you that this problem is up to both parties in Congress. That's the bottom line. And by the way, just one thing, I wasn't going to bring Reagan up, but the other gentleman did. And he mentioned about some changes and getting across. Well, Ronald Reagan gave amnesty to 6 million illegals back in, it was in the 80s, of course, when he was in office.
Yep.
He just gave them amnesty. And I always thought at the time, that's not going to stop people from coming across. That's going to tell them to come across.
Well, almost everything we've done has told them to come across, including Donald Trump's building the wall, because one of the reasons that we saw that increase was when those wishing to enter this country legally or illegally heard there was going to be a wall, what did they do? They made a big push to get in before the wall made it to them. Exactly.
Yes.
So,
and I still say we don't need a wall. We need more border patrol. We need more technology.
Yeah, well, I agree with that. But
immigration judges.
You can have an electronic wall.
Yeah, well, we could move these people through that are asking for amnesty, and they're really not in trouble in their country. They just want a better life. I don't blame them for that. But we got to get the hearings processed a lot faster. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say.
Good enough.
It wasn't that secure a few years ago. Thank you.
Yep. Take care. Bye-bye now. All right. That's going to do it for today. We'll be back tomorrow with lots more on the Art Lewis program. As always, we thank you for joining us. We'll be back to close out.
Homeowners, Bob Wilson of SunTech Wind and Solar here in Standish. Are you looking for energy independence for your home? You should be. Michigan utilities are closing their remaining coal plants soon, resulting in more power outages. Home solar with battery backup not only provides power during the grid outage, it reduces your light bill every day the sun shines. Unlike a generator, it just sits there. I'd love to show you how it all works. Come visit us at 319 South Main Street in Standish or visit us at suntech-windsolar.com.
Uncover up to $100,000 of riches in the Pyramid of Cash. Fridays and Saturdays in May, walk like an Egyptian into Saginaw Eagles Landing.